And then, the different levels of followers. That's mainly the point, and we're gonna go forward off of that point. So I really want to make that point so that we can understand, hey, this is how it was set up. Because we're going to talk about the energy. We're going to talk about the power. We're going to talk about a lot of things that have to do with the power and the teachings and what was being learned and what was happening with the people that were absorbing and that were learning and that were hanging around and that sort of thing. And since we're going to talk about the energy and the power, let's take one of our special lenses from a recording way earlier of the 6 main pages and pull out one of our lenses and take a look, because we want to go way up high and get a really quick overview with one of our special lenses and take a look. Okay, when we're talking about the power and when we're talking about what is really happening and what is really being accessed, we're actually talking about something the Bible calls the kingdom. The kingdom. These are the words of Jesus. The kingdom. That's what it's described as. The kingdom. You cannot understand the kingdom without understanding paradigms of the here and now and the shifting of paradigms in the here and now. You cannot understand the kingdom unless you understand dimensional time and space. You cannot understand it. Let me clarify something right here. So this will deviate from the timeline, from the story timeline. I'm deviating from the story timeline because I need to make something incredibly clear, because it is very confusing to the modern mind. That is the mind of the 21st century. And while I'm making this clear, I'm going to throw in there how it got so unclear and so muddled. Just really quick though. The kingdom that Jesus Christ was teaching about, that his entourage knew about, that understood really well, because he made sure they did, because he wanted them to be able to do stuff that he was doing, that we would call freaky stuff. He wanted to make sure they understood it, so he made sure they did understand it. The kingdom, and what we normally think of as the paradise of the afterlife, these are not the same thing. It's confusing to the populations of Earth to keep being handed a bill of goods that constantly tells your subconscious mind, oh yeah, the kingdom and the paradise of the afterlife are the same things. They are not the same things. They never have been the same things. And they will not be the same things right now in the 21st century. This is not what was being described. It is church doctrine, but it is church doctrine based upon agendas of follow us or you won't get to heaven. It's based on church secret agendas of the church that say we are going to control. And then they took over the whole world. I mean, the whole of that European world in those days. Think about it. It's part of that. It's part of the lowly worm message. I'm a lowly worm. It's part of that agenda. That agenda was not happening at the time that Jesus was walking around on the planet, infusing people and telling people how to get imbued with power, making it clear to them, I come that you might have power, And power to do what? Power to become the offspring of the creative life force. God, if you will. There's nowhere in that sentence is it, you're a lowly worm not worthy of kissing my friggin' sandals. That's a word that comes from John the Baptist. And they got turned into a doctrine that says you're a lowly worm. Sucker. Shut up. Slave. Be glad the church is here. You'd all be burning in hell fire. The evil hell fire of Dante's Inferno. No, 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 no. So please, in your mind, understand. The kingdom that you're reading about and the kingdom that we're talking about in this part and the kingdom that needs to be understood in order for the power to be willed, because it's dimensional. That's why Jesus is saying, my kingdom is not of this world. He was actually saying, my kingdom is not of this paradigm time frame that we're living in right now. But these people didn't exactly live in the time of 21st century physics. Let's get real, okay? I mean, it's not like let's jump in the friggin' car and go down to the hamburger stand and have lunch, guys, and then we'll go over here and watch a movie. I mean, no, 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 no. So understand these things are confusing to the modern mind because we've been hearing them over and over and over and over and over for century upon century upon century upon century upon century. Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-grandparents, your ancestors. We're hearing this message that the kingdom is the paradigm, The kingdom is the paradise. No, it's not. It was not, that was not meant to be. That is a Roman Empire thing. And what do Roman empires do? They go empiring. You think part of Christianity and the Christian church wasn't about empiring people? You better rethink that. It certainly was. And in the empiring of people, through the doctrines and the dogmas and all this stuff, and then slap the label teaching of Jesus on it, some things got twisted and bent up. It had to have. You have to pervert the message, you have to pervert the power, or you're not going to start controlling people. You don't want to control people, you don't want them enlightened, you don't want them imbued, you don't want them revived. Okay? These are things you do not want. And how do you accomplish that? Go back to the 6 main pages and listen to those 6 main pages. I give a big long explanation about it. Okay? But please do understand, paradise of the afterlife is not the same thing that Jesus is talking about when he's talking about the kingdom. And to enforce that point a little more, when he's talking about the kingdom, he's demonstrating the power of being, here's born from above. Here it is, okay? All of these things you guys are thinking of as miracles because you're couched in the laws of you're couched in the Mosaic systems. The systems of the laws of Moses become systems, temple systems. You think about them like that, so I'm trying to talk to you at your level, so we're just going to go with that. But this is the kingdom. These are the access of the kingdom. You're accessing the kingdom. And yes, my kingdom is not of this world because it is not of this dimensional paradigm. You're actually adding something to the dimensional paradigm. Because in that moment that you're accessing the kingdom, you are actually merging with the creative force. That's why the miracles happen. It's not really so much miracles as it is, this is the level of physics that comes about when you merge with the creative force, because you're literally merging, literally tying your four components with what the righteousness system actually is. And because of that, you tie into the kingdom. And then the kingdom shows up, and then lo and behold, Patui, let me spit in your eye. Let me slap some mud in there and spit in your eye. Oh, isn't that amazing? You can see again. Okay, do you understand? Do you understand? I'm going to pause. I can feel myself getting ready to go off into a verbal tangent. I'm not going to let that happen. So, hopefully you understand. I'm going to pause here and come back in a second or more. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause. I did not want to fly into a sermon. It can happen with me really easy, and all of these things are about explaining things from a different level. All of these things that I'm putting on recordings here, this is about making it clear for the people of the 21st century. Okay, I was born in the 20th century. I was born in 1960. Now, life in 1960 and life in 1970 and life in 1980 is a lot. Now, mind you, I grew up in San Diego, California. I live in Texas now. But life back then is a lot different than life is today. Okay? When I was a little kid, and yes, we're still talking about